Okay, I want to talk about something. Basically, this is language, and I'm going to do this because it's going to relate to my next video. There's a big problem with language, and the idea here is that language is a set of tools to work with concepts, but it doesn't always apply. Some parts of language are just features of the language. They're adornments or things that serve a purpose in language. The concept I want to talk about is the concept of not. And first of all, you have to understand. The reason this is important to me is I'm a skeptic, and people often use the concept of not as a trick, arguing against skepticism whenever a skeptic is certain about something. But not is just a linguistic trick. It's not really clear that any concept can be turned into not, where not means the opposite, okay, as opposed to nothing. Now, before I go into my example and what I'm talking about specifically, I want to point out that as a skeptic, I don't believe anything is 100% probable. But there are things that are 0% probable. And I draw that from using as a metaphor how probability works at the most fundamental level that we have discovered so far, which is quantum mechanics. In quantum mechanics, there is no location that a particle is 100% probable to be located. There are, however, a lot of places, even within the interval of possible locations, and certainly beyond that interval, where the probability is 0. So it is possible to have a probability of 0, just not a probability of 100%. Okay, so that's an important point. Now, my example where not is used against skeptics, and comes up, as I say in this next video I'm going to use. I exist. I say that with certainty that I exist. People think then I'm saying it's 100% probable, but it doesn't invoke probability. They say that I am prohibiting them from the assertion that they do not exist, so I'm 100% certain, since I prohibited that, since I've given that 0% probability. But the fact of the matter is that when I say I exist, this is the foundational definition in my philosophy, that I exist. I define existence, okay? In other words, I'm taking all of my experiences, what it means to be me, and I'm calling that existence. For you to say that I don't exist means that you're asserting that I'm not having those experiences, you see? And I know I'm having those experiences. So this isn't an assertion with a probability related to it. This is a matter of definition. It's a matter of knowing that bachelors are male because I've defined a bachelor to be an unmarried male, so it has to be a male. Definitions like that are actually very useful, and we need definitions in order to construct any picture of the world. Now, I start with a definition of existence that's based on my experiences and calling those experiences an existence. And so I can assert things like that. And just in general, beware this term not, because it plays a funny role in probability here. And it confuses people because there's not a symmetry in probability. Nothing can be 100% probable, but things can be 0% probable. And that's because improbability is not really an opposite of probability. There's only probability of a certain amount. It goes down to 0. It doesn't go to -5. It doesn't, it goes from 100% to 0, never reaches 100%, does reach 0. So it's inclusive of 0 probability, but not inclusive of 100%.